Hello, welcome to this tutorial. We're going to overview the booking and appointments feature, which allows you to create and manage bookable products and services. Let's get started.
So just like other products, bookable products can have a title, a description, and images, but customers would also find a booking form where they can select the dates they want to book the product for. In this case, we're renting an apartment. Here they can enter the guests, like this. They would see how much it is for those 2 days. And here we have some extra costs that are mandatory and automatically added to the booking once the dates are selected. The total, and then they can just click on book now and proceed to checkout. Now let's go see how you can manage these bookings and how you can configure the settings. Okay, so we're in the panel and we have all these sections with options to configure. First, under dashboard, you'll find 2 subsections. In all bookings, you'll see all the bookings placed in your store with their booking ID, the product listing, who booked these products. Here we have 2 customers, but here we have a guest user, for example. The date the booking starts, the date the booking ends, the amount. This refers to the order price only if there's an order linked to the booking, and the status. Every booking placed in your store will be visible here with its status. Each status has a different color. For example, here we have a booking that's paid, another one that's pending, and this one is unpaid. When hovering over some of the statuses, you will see these action icons. You can use this to change the booking status with just one click. For example, we can change a booking from unpaid to paid. We can change a pending booking to confirmed or rejected. And in this case, we cannot do anything because this one is already paid for. But in case you need to, you can go ahead and click on edit to go into the booking details and change the booking status here. And you'll also see the general details of the booking, including the product and the user. You can also edit the dates here, and you have the people included in the booking, the services, and the notes. And once you're done making any changes, you just have to click here on Save Booking. Now let's go back. By default, this table is sorted by this column from, but you can also sort bookings by the end date or the booking ID. Besides editing, you can also delete each booking permanently. And in further actions, you can download the admin and the customer PDF files, which include the booking details like the status, order ID, product and dates booked, and more. Here you have bulk actions to delete several bookings at once or export them to a CSV or ICS file. You can also filter by date, search bookings, and here we have the views. The default views are upcoming, which will get you all the current and future bookings, and all, which shows all the bookings, including the ones that are already finished. As you can see here, I have several bookings that start in a few days, one that is currently in progress, and one that is finished. And as you start getting bookings, these other views will be added automatically based on the available statuses. Now, people who visit your store can place bookings by choosing the product, selecting the dates, and placing the order like we saw at the start of the video. But you can also create the bookings yourself as admin manually by clicking here on Create Booking. You would just need to enter the user or keep guest user here, enter the bookable product, decide if you want to create the booking without assigning it to any order, create a new order for this booking, or assign the booking to a specific order. If you choose this one, you'll be able to enter the related order here. Let's change this back to don't assign a booking to any order. And then you can select the booking start and end dates like this. And the guests for this booking, let's add a few guests. And then we have the price for those 8 days with 4 guests. And you can just click here to create the booking. And there we go. So we have all the details here. The current status is unpaid. We have the booking statuses here. We don't have any order or user assigned to this booking. The booking dates, the people, and the services. And here you can also download the customer and admin PDF files. Let's go back. And we have the booking here with the unpaid status. Now you can see all bookings here in this table or here in bookings calendar. Here we'll also find the bookings with a different color based on their status. If you scroll down, you'll see all the statuses here with their colors. So we have the calendars with the bookings. This is the month view. You can use this for daily bookings, and you can use the day view if you have hourly or per minute bookings. Let's go back to the month view. You can click on any of these bookings to see the details and click here if you need to edit it. You can also click here on the plus icon to create a new booking. You can go back if you need to see past bookings. You can search for bookable products here. You can also search for resources if you have that module enabled. We'll see that in a minute. You can filter by date and you can do a quick search here. Now let's go to modules before going through all these tabs. Here you'll find modules you can enable to unlock additional features for your bookable products. You can enable the people module to create unlimited people types. As you saw, we had adults, teenagers, and children to choose for the bookings. You can create any type of people you want and set specific rules or prices for them. You can enable services to create free or paid services for your bookable products. You can enable resources to add to your products like equipment, staff, technology, and more. You can just click here to do so. You can enable extra custom discounts to add to your bookings. For example, you can set a weekly discount or a last-minute discount. You can enable the search for module to allow users to search for specific bookable products. We'll see that soon. You can enable the Google Maps module to set the location of your bookable products and show it on a Google map on the product page so your customers know where it is. You can enable Google Calendar to synchronize all the bookings placed on your site with your Google Calendar. And you can enable external synchronization so you can automatically synchronize the availability of your bookable products with external platforms like Booking and Airbnb. This is great to prevent overbooking. Enabling these modules will add some options here to the settings and configuration tabs and also to the product creation page. So we recommend enabling only the modules you need. Now in settings, we'll find 5 subsections. First, in general settings, you'll find options to set which categories to show in search forms. Let me show you what a search form is. So this is a search form. You can have it like this or in a horizontal layout. Here customers can enter the location they're interested in, like this. Select the dates they want to book. Enter the guests the bookable product allows, and then click on search. That way they'll get as a result the bookable product that's available on these dates, that's located here, that allows at least one adult. And this is a horizontal search form. You can add the search fields here when configuring the search form. We'll see that soon. Let's go back. Okay, so here you can set which categories you want to show in search forms. So you can choose to either show all product categories or choose specific categories and enter the categories here. You can also reject pending confirmation bookings after a specific time. If you enable it, you'll be able to enter the number of days here to reject pending confirmation bookings that have been like that for several days. And same here for set paid bookings to complete it after a specific number of days. This of course does not apply to hourly or per minute bookings because the check for those bookings is executed daily. Then you can enter your Google Maps API keys here. If you don't know where to find this, you can click here. Then in booking forms, you can configure the layout of the elements in the booking forms. That's the form we saw at the start of the video where customers can choose the dates they want to book and place the booking. For example, you can choose to show the booking form to all users or only to those that are logged in. You can choose the booking form position. In this case, we have widget or block. So right now the booking form is added as a widget to the sidebar we use for product pages, but you can also choose to simply have it added before the product summary, after the title, and so on. And you'll find some more options to configure the form, like choosing the calendar style. We have seen it as drop down, but it can be in line with the page. How much time to load in the calendar? Right now it's 12 months. The people, resources, and time selector layout, they're all shown as drop down right now. We have this option enabled to make sure to disable days when no time is available. You can enable this option to block dates with pending bookings. This is specific for those cases when the booking requires confirmation. You set up which bookings require confirmation. If this option is enabled, when a customer sends the confirmation request for the booking, the date will be blocked even though it's not confirmed yet. They will be unblocked if you reject the booking. And here we have the info to show before the book button. We have the prices for services, the description of services. You can also show included services and totals. Save options. And let's go to calendars. Here you can configure the settings for the calendars that are visible to you as admin in dashboard booking calendars. So here we have options like setting the default start time, what the booking name will be. In this case, we have the booking ID and the username like this. You can choose any of these options. We have the external calendar section. With this feature, you can synchronize bookable products with external platforms like Airbnb and Booking. You can set the minimum time to consider the external synchronization expired. If you set this option to 30 minutes and synchronize a bookable product now by connecting it to an external service like Airbnb, The loaded data will expire in 30 minutes. So if a customer checks the availability now, they will see the data that was just loaded because it is not expired yet. It has been less than 30 minutes. Now, if a customer checks the availability of the bookable product in 1 hour, the data will be considered expired and it will be updated externally to check the correct availability. As a general rule, 30 minutes is a good synchronization expiration time for every booking system. You can enable this option to make sure all the external calendar's bookings are shown in the bookings calendar we saw a few minutes ago. And then in Google Calendar, you can use the integration to see bookings in your own Google Calendar as admin. This is a one-way synchronization, so it's only synchronized from this store to Google Calendar, different from the external calendars option, which is a two-way synchronization. Then in cart and orders, we'll see a couple of options related to the cart and orders management. We'll be able to enable this option to show the booking of text before the product name on the cart and checkout pages, this option to show the totals there too, and this option to show the booking data in the order details. Then in customizations, you can configure the way you want to show some elements in the booking form. Here you can choose what the price shown will include. If you want to replace days with weeks, for example, when we have a 7-day booking, instead of 7 days, have it say 1 week. Here's an option to redirect users to checkout, so when they click on book on the booking form, they will be redirected to the checkout so they can just pay for the booking instead of going through the cart page. There are several options here that have to do with the date and time format. Here you can set the colors of the elements, and here you can set all the labels. For example, here we have the book now label instead of add to cart. You can edit any of the labels here. And now in configuration, we'll find several subsections. Most of these, except the availability and price rule subsections, are added when you enable the modules, so you can configure them here. So the number of subsections you see here will depend on the modules you have enabled here. Let's go to availability rules. So with these rules, you can manage availability on specific days. Here you can set the global rules, but then at a product level, you'll be able to create more specific rules. So you can click on Add Rule to create a new rule, enter a name to identify it. Let's create a rule to make sure products are not bookable during Christmas. You can use a generic date. So in this case, we could make it from December 24th to December 25. So every year, these dates would be not bookable. But you can also set specific days and just apply this rule only to December 24 and 25 this year, not to the following years. Here's where you can set the availability for all days or specific days as not bookable all day, or we can set hours in case we have hourly bookings. Let's do all day. You can even exclude products if you want to and just save here. And that's it. So this availability rule is enabled. You can edit it here if you need to and save. And since it's a global rule, it's applied to all bookable products. Now let's move on to price rules. Here you can create advanced rules to set different prices for specific conditions. In this panel, you'll be setting global rules, but then at a product level, you can create more specific rules. You can just click here to add a rule, set the rule name. Let's do a children discount rule. That way, children will not pay as much as adults and the other types of people. You can find all the conditions here. There's custom date range, range of days, time, people count. And here we have the people types we can choose because we have the people module enabled and these people types created. So let's choose child. Let's do from 1 to 4 children. The rule changes the base price. We're going to decrease the price as a percentage. We're going to give them a 50% discount. Save. And there we go. Again, it's enabled. You can click here to expand it, edit anything, and then save. And this is a global rule that's applied to all products. Now let's move on to people. Here's where you can create the people types. We have these ones added. You can create your own people types by just adding the name here. You can add a description if you want to and then click on add new type. And there we go. The new people type has been added. Then in services, you'll be able to add services you want to offer for your bookable products. They can be optional or mandatory. For example, we have breakfast, air conditioning, TV. These ones do not have a price, but let's add parking, for example. You can add the Slack. You can add a parent booking service if you want to. We're not going to do that. You can add a description. You can add the price. Let's do $5. And we're going to set it as optional so customers can choose if they want to add the parking service or not. And you'll also be able to hide it to customers in booking search forms to multiply the cost by the unit selected. This means that if they book for 2 days, then it would be 5 times 2. We're not going to enable this multiply cost by people, so it would not be the same if there were 2 adults in the booking or 4, but we're not going to enable this. And you can also show a quantity selector for this service. We're not going to do that. We can just click add new booking service, and that's it. It's added, and now I can add it to all my bookable products when configuring them. Then in resources, you can add resources for your bookable products. You can add them here and then select them when configuring the bookable product. You can just click here to create a resource. Let's say the resource will be a laptop. We can offer them the resource. If it's available, they can add it to their booking. If not, they will not be able to add it to their booking. Let's choose an image for that. There. And let's say we have 2 laptops we can offer to our guests. So as long as they're available, they can add them to their bookings. And they will be available all days, all day. And here you have additional availability rules for this resource. It's just the same as we saw before, where you can enter specific or generic dates to set their availability. Let's save the resource. Let's go back, and there we go. They can now select the laptop if it's available to add to their bookings. Then in cost, you can create global costs to add to your bookable products. We have fixed tax, city tax, and cleaning fee. You can add any extra cost here. Let's do, for example, room service. You can add a description, add the new extra cost, and there it is. When you're configuring the bookable product, you'll be able to set a price for it. Then in search forms, you can configure the search form we saw before, where customers can look for products that are available on specific dates and on a specific location, for example. Here's a horizontal search form. We can click here to edit it, and you'll see all the options you have available. You can enable a search field, a location. You can enable the category so they can select the bookable products category they want to look for. Tags. You can enable the dates field so they can choose which dates they want to look for. You can do the same for people and services. And here you have some options for the layout, including colors and button border radius. Now let's go back, and you can always create a new search form by clicking here. You'll find the same options, and you can have as many search forms as you want to. You just have to copy the shortcodes here once they're created to add each search form to a page on your website. Then in tools, we'll find 2 subsections, tools and logs. In tools, we have synchronization and debug settings. These are tools added to be managed by developers, so it is best if you do not use them if you don't need to. For example, this option can be enabled to add some booking related debug logs that will be visible in tools logs. Below, there's an option to store booking data in cache to speed up the site. We suggest keeping this option enabled and only disabling it for testing purposes. You can synchronize prices. The booking feature will store a pre-calculated price in bookable products to allow the correct sorting by price. So, only if that's not working properly, you can recalculate prices by clicking here. And last, this option is meant to regenerate lookup tables from your bookings, but in general, you don't need to use this option. And if you're having issues with the lookup table, we suggest you contact the support team first. In logs, you'll just find logs, so we're not going to see that. Then in emails, you can manage and configure all the email notifications that are specifically sent for the bookings. They are either sent to the admin account or to the customer. There are admin emails to inform about a change in a booking status or when a new booking is created, and customer emails to inform customers their booking has been confirmed. You can click on edit to see and edit each email. There's the subject and email heading, and here's the message customers will get. In this case, since it's a confirmation email, it says, "Hi, your booking was confirmed." The customer will see the booking details. You can add your own message here. You can edit the email heading, the subject, and you'll be able to do the same for all these emails here, like the paid booking email, the customer booking note that is sent when you add a note to a booking, and for this booking notification that you can send to customers before the start date to remind them that their booking is about to start. You can enable the email here. You can click here to edit it. Again, you have the subject and the email heading. You can edit both of them. And here you can set how many days before the booking start date you want to send this notification. In this case, 1 day before each booking starts, customers will get this email reminding them that their booking is about to start with the booking details. Okay, so now that we have gone through all the sections and subsections to configure this feature, let's go ahead and create a bookable product. Okay, so we're creating this product, and if we scroll down to product data, we'll find the option to make this a bookable product. In this case, it's a room customers can rent to stay at, so we're making it a virtual bookable product. So once you make this a bookable product, you'll find this tab, Booking Options, with subtabs below to configure the bookable product. Keep in mind some of these have to do with the modules you can enable. So if you have not enabled some modules, maybe some subtabs will not be visible to you. In settings, you can define the booking duration. In this case, customers can book units of 1 day. You can make it months, days, hours, or minutes. You can enable the calendar range picker in the product page. You can set a default start date, choose whether you will use full day bookings or not, set specific days to start bookings. For example, you may want customers to start bookings on Monday rather than any other day. You can set that here. Then you will find booking terms where you can set the maximum number of bookings allowed. This translates into how many units you have available for booking. In this case, if I only have one room for customers to rent, I'm just going to enter one here. You can set a minimum or maximum booking duration, a check-in and check-out time. You can decide if you want to allow cancellation for this specific product. And here you can set the location. So you can enter a map on the product page with a shortcode and have customers see the location through Google Maps. Then you'll find the People subtab where you can enable people options. You can set the minimum and maximum number of people per booking. For example, let's say this product has enough room for 4 people. So the minimum is 1 and the maximum is 4 people. You can also count people as separate bookings and even enable people types here to use some of the people types you have created in the module options we saw before. Then in costs, you'll find options to set the base price for 1 day, an extra price, and a fixed base fee if you want to. And you'll also be able to enter discounts, and you can also set the price for the extra costs created in the module settings. Or add new costs by just clicking here, and here you can set advanced price rules specifically for this product. Then in availability, you can configure the product's availability. Right now it's bookable all days, but you can change it to not bookable and add options for specific days, and even create availability rules here specifically for this product. Then in services, you can add as many services as you want here. Let's do breakfast and Wi-Fi. Then in resources, you can enable resources to add to the product, and you'll find options to decide how they will be assigned to the bookings. You can make them required, and here's where you can add the resources that are already created. In this case, for example, we created the laptop before, so let's add it, and done. And here we can set the base price for the laptop for 1 day and a fixed base fee if we want to. And last we have sync. Here's where you can import calendars from external platforms like Airbnb and Booking. And here's where you can export this bookable products calendar to those external platforms. And that's it. That's how easy it is to configure the options and manage your own bookable products.
Okay, so you can configure and use this feature. See you soon in the next video tutorial.